So hello and thank you for joining us for our latest installment of the PTC ISV Spotlight Series. Whether you are live here today or watching the recording, thank you for taking the time to do so. Just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started here. This session is being recorded and will be made available via our YouTube channel, as well as on our website. If you would like to receive CPE credits, you must stay for the entire time and answer all of the polling questions that we will be doing as we move through this. And all attendees have been muted. If you have any questions during the session, please use the chat. We'll be watching for them. In addition, we will have some time at the end for questions as well. I'm very excited today to bring you today's ISV. I can't believe we haven't had them on more recently. I think we did a number of years ago, but it's great to have them back. It's one we've been working with for a very long time, and one that we have a discussion with just about every single new customer that comes on board. We talk to them about their products. In the past, they were known for one or two things specifically. Essentially the ability to print checks on plain paper and to print signatures with the proper security. Their portfolio has grown over the years, and you might be surprised at some of the functionality that they have added. I don't want to take away from our guests, so I'll stop there. But before I hand over the session, I do have a couple of polling questions to get us started. So let me go ahead and get that polling started there. So we're going to go ahead and launch polling question number 1. Hopefully everybody can see this. So question number 1, what is your biggest challenge with AP or accounts payable? Streamlined approvals, reducing manual entry of invoices, reducing manual work sending out checks, processing payments from multiple entities, or all of the above. So if everyone can go ahead and submit their answers, and then as soon as we have a majority here, we will go ahead and move on. Now, with these polls, I do like to do a 10-second countdown. So I will let everybody know when we're getting ready to close out the poll. Again, if you do need CPE credits, you do need to make sure you answer all of the questions. So I want to make sure we give everyone the ability to do that. So again, we'll go ahead and we'll do the 10-second countdown here. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to go ahead and close out that poll. Just so you know, the responses here, we've got about 60% say all of the above. And then we have 20% on reducing manual entry of invoices and 20% on reducing manual work sending checks. So a little bit across the board there. I was kind of expecting the all of the above to be to be quite a bit there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close that one. And we'll go ahead and open up our second poll here. So question number 2, have you considered outsourcing your payments? So have you considered having someone else do the actual payments, whether it is ACHs, EFTs, manual sending of check, P-card type stuff? So again, have you considered outsourcing your payments? And the options there are yes, no, and not sure. So again, if we can go ahead and have everyone respond to that. We'll give a couple more seconds here, and then we'll do our countdown. All right, so we're going to go ahead and close out the poll in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. And so it looks like not sure is the overriding majority there. We do have a number of yeses. So I think maybe by the end of our presentation today, we might have some of those not sures moved into another category. So we'll see how we do there. All right, so looks like we've got everybody there. Okay, so with that, I will go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and I am going to turn this over. And I'm very pleased to introduce Mary Lanahan from Mekorma Software. So, Mary, let me stop sharing. Oh, you took over. Good. So you're good there. Yep, you're good. So, Mary, take it off.
Thank you so much, Mike. It's so great to be here and to share our products at Mekorma with your clients. I'm really excited about that. And I've been with Mekorma for about 6 months, but I've been in the Dynamics channel for 25 years. So I'm familiar with talking to a lot of people that do accounts payable over the many years, and I hear a lot of the pain. So I'm excited to hear that you are have some solutions, or we have some solutions maybe for some of those issues that you're having. So thanks so much. Today we're going to talk a little about our Mekorma solutions for accounts payable and Dynamics GP. Mekorma's been around for a long time. We have over 30 years of experience with Dynamics GP and accounts payable, and of course, making them work smoothly together in your ERP's integration. And it's been GP for many years, but we've also expanded now out into Business Central and Acumatica. I just wanted to touch on that as well. And while we talk about this, focus of this presentation is on our GP products. So I just wanted to share that with you. We help our customers solve these issues, which are very common for accounts payable departments across all industries. You know, all that paper, we're still dealing with paper in this paperless society we're supposed to go to, right? Everyone still has paper, they're routing paper around for approvals or emails. We're still spending a lot of time manually entering all those invoices into GP. You know, it's such a hassle, and there's room for mistakes and errors and miscodings, as you probably all know. We want to pay those vendors on time too, so we want to be the most efficient we can at getting those vendors set up, getting those invoices paid. We might be struggling with check fraud. You know, that's out there. There's people that are, you know, stealing your bank information. They're, you know, getting these phishing emails and trying to steal your bank information that way. We definitely want to help curb some of that as well. If you have any processes that you're repeating over and over for multiple entities, we can help with that as well. Are you unable to work remotely because somebody's got to go in and print those checks and somebody's got to sign those checks? You know, we can help with all of these solutions. So hopefully you'll see that too. We can help everybody that's involved with accounts payable, getting those payments out the door. Those people that are actually doing the daily tasks, like Ryan, who's an AP clerk struggling with processing those invoices, getting those payments in with less manual effort, because we all know we're having to do more and more work with less people. So how can we help with that? Those AP managers and supervisors that have to maintain that workflow and make sure we're complying with all those governance rules out there. We're doing that with the managers as well, getting them better visibility to what's going on within their departments. And then, of course, at the C-suite, Mekorma helps those executives relieve them from those manual efforts, you know, signing checks, having to approve payments, other ways that they can bring costs down in accounts payable, and maybe even bring some money back into the organization, maybe with some rebates through remote payment services. Here's an overview of all of the AP payment process and where those Mekorma solutions come in. And we're going to kind of look at these in an overview and then kind of drill down into each one of these processes with you. Our invoice automation can help you get your vendor invoices into GP with no human intervention, just reviewing the distributions and making sure everything is correct. AP staff can review those and then move through the workflow. There's a variety of ways Mekorma helps optimize payment generation by sending those checks out, getting those payments out, those ACH, those virtual cards, always with security at the top of the mind. We're going to break down these. First, we're going to take a look at the invoice receipt process. So starting with our invoice automation solutions, Mekorma offers 2 standalone products that can also work together to help you capture and approve invoices as easily as possible. So the first one is invoice capture. That helps you reduce the tedious and manual efforts of getting those invoices into Dynamics GP, and then send them through for approval with their supporting documents and document attach without the complexity of a full-fledged document management system. This is a simple and streamlined system for automating invoice data entry, voucher creation, and approvals that's fully integrated with GP. So if you're using Invoice Capture and Mekorma Payment Hub together, you really have a complete end-to-end AP automation solution. From the moment an invoice is received to the day the payment is sent, Mekorma makes your AP process easier. Invoice Capture can also be a standalone product, which means you can use it with your standard GP check processing. Why Invoice Capture? We know so many of our clients struggle at this stage of the AP cycle, so Invoice Capture helps alleviate these problems. You're just dealing with all of that paper. Paper invoicing isn't great for people or for our planet. We often hear that those AP teams are still handling more paper than they like. Paper can give a sort of reassurance because you can hold on to it, but then you're keeping all that paper in your files and in your storage, and we can help alleviate some of that, removing you away from all that paper. It's easy to lose those documents, it's easy to alter them, and you're still paying money for the paper, paying for the processes, and paying for the storage of those. So how can we help with that? Paper also means invoices have to be entered manually into your system, which can lead to mistakes. So automation and artificial intelligence excel at reading these types of data entry. They help us humans to oversee the data rather than actually entering the details in by hand. And it frees up your AP staff time so they can work on other things like cash flow optimization, vendor management, and other things that are better use of their time. Document management systems are very useful for those companies that process high volumes of invoices and purchase orders. These systems can do complicated tasks and workflows, so invoices are fully coded and approved before they enter GP. But some companies don't need that functionality. They don't need all the PO invoicing. They don't need that matching in GP. They can use our tool because Invoice Capture provides a unique and simple solution for organizers that have a lower volume and a simpler payables process. And finally, as we mentioned before, Invoice Capture can be used with Mekorma Payment Hub. This means you can work with one software and services provider that you trust and that you've known for a long time for your end-to-end processing. And it's all completely integrated within GP. You don't have to worry about different systems they have to learn. It's all inside that familiar GP interface. This makes for a great user experience from beginning to end. Our Invoice Capture is built on the latest artificial intelligence technology, and it's powered by the Microsoft Power Platform. So we've got the latest and greatest technology for you here. The 3 components that drive Invoice Capture process are those 2 automated workflows. They're vendor approvals and payables transactions, powered by the Microsoft Power Automate. And we use the sophisticated data reading and capture powered by Microsoft AI Builder. And finally, we have built a vendor of invoice validation interface built right into Dynamics GP, and you can see it in this window. So let's explore how this process works first behind the scenes. As part of this process happens before invoices enter GP, and the rest happens once invoices are in the system. So first, the invoices are received in a dedicated AP mailbox, like ap@mekorma.com. And we can set them up specific for each of your GP companies. And then the vendor invoices can be submitted as attachments, or they can be embedded in the body of the email. And those would be captured in the Doc Attach feature in GP. Initial Power Automate flow will monitor the incoming emails and either convert those invoices that are embedded in the email to a PDF attachment or grab those attached documents. Documents are saved in a designated project folder. Once an invoice is saved in the project folder, a second flow will kick in and leverage the AI to read and capture the content. Power Automate and AI solutions run on the back end and automatically activates whenever the invoices are received. You will need to specify an AP email address to monitor, a project folder, and determine who is going to receive the email notifications when the invoices are processed. Once those back-end flows have completed, the invoice data is pushed into GP for further processing. Once an invoice is in GP, it is accessed in the invoice validation window. An AP clerk will review each entry, validate for accuracy, and adjust the data as needed. This is the step where human oversight happens. The designated staff will make sure the AI read the invoice correctly, has the right vendor, fill in any missing details. Then the invoice is entered as payable voucher, and you can adjust the GL codes as needed, save the voucher to a batch, and submit it through the GP's transaction entry approval workflow to maintain those strong internal controls. This is also where our mobile workflow product can come in, which I will talk about on the next slide. After approval, the invoices will be posted, and then they will go on to be paid through the Mekorma Payment Hub or your preferred payment solution. That's kind of what happens in the background. The second solution that helps with invoice management is the Mekorma Mobile Workflows. Mobile Workflows is a Power Platform-based solution that integrates with the Dynamics GP data and security rules. This product gives you the ability to take your GP workflows on the road. Your team will be able to perform invoice or vendor approvals without even logging into GP. It's great for someone who's in the organization who's responsible for approving invoices, but isn't always in the office. I mean, they could be out on the golf course, they could be visiting clients, but they'll still be able to approve the invoices on their phone or mobile device. As mentioned, mobile workflows works hand in hand with invoice capture, although they are standalone products. Once the invoice capture gets the invoice data and images into GP, the AP staff sends those payables transactions through GP's workflow. When the appropriate users can approve those invoices for payment on their phone or through a browser with mobile workflows. It's very convenient and it keeps the invoice to payment cycle on track. You may know that approvers can handle these GP workflows by email. So if you have GP workflows set up right now, that's the way it's done, through email. But the problem is you have to approve one invoice at a time in individual emails. With our mobile workflows app, approvers can see everything in one place for all companies and approve them efficiently, including drilling down to the documents. As you can see, there's a paperclip that indicates there's documents attached to those vouchers. So now we're going to take a look at the Payment Hub capabilities, which you're probably very familiar with because that's what used to be called the Mekorma Micker product. And this will help you optimize your payment selection and processing. So I know a lot of you are using Payment Hub, the Micker solution, to print your checks, but you might not be aware of all of the streamlined payment process that we have put into Payment Hub over the last 10 years or so. So we have created these add-on solutions, including so we'll take a look at Action Board and some of the other features of Payment Hub. Once your invoices are in the system and approved, the Payment Hub will give you automation and flexible ways to pay. Those work with your organization's business rules and preferred processes. So we're going to take a look at those. Payment Hub is deeply integrated with GP. And that's where we started. That's where our focus is. That's where we've been all these many years. So we've got a solution as a gold standard for automating the payment process. Sometimes the AP staff don't even know that they're using our software. We run into that from day to day. And they think it's all part of GP, and that's how fully integrated it is. But it extends your GP security by adding that extra level of task-based security to your functions in accounts payable. So that gives you a lot of room to configure your specific business rules, like who has access to the signatures, who has access to the thresholds, who's an approver. All that stuff is an extra layer of GP security that we've added just for payables, Payment Hub. Payment Hub also offers clients who are still paying vendors with checks a much more efficient and secure way to manage their process, using blank check stock, using electronic signatures, thresholds, all of that. GP payment processing can be a pain for multiple companies, as you probably know. So you have to go in and log in and out of each company to build the batches and create those payments. But our automation with the action board allows you to do that all in one place across companies, across checkbooks. And that works also with our remote payment approvals and outsource capabilities with no change to your processes. So if you decide to add in remote payment processing of your payments, there's no real change in your process. It's just an extra step in the action board. So here are a few components of the Payment Hub that you might not be aware of yet, but one of them is the action board, which we've mentioned, and that centralizes and streamlines the way you build and process batches. We've also added a great new product called Power Approvals, which gives you the flexibility, control, and freedom from having to be in GP to approve payments. So Mobile Workflows works on approving invoices. Power Approvals works on approving payments. You can pay in-house with your checks and EFTs or outsource all of the duties associated with check printing and electronic payments through remote payment services. Mekorma also provides you with a detailed audit record. Who wrote which check, who approved each check, and that's all something that we've had for a while, but you might not be aware of in the Payment Hub product. So let's take a look at these features in turn. So this is the AP Automation Action Board. So when you're building batches, the action board allows you to automatically pull in the right vouchers based on payment criteria that you set up, like due dates or vendor class. And it's great if you work with multiple companies because the action board will literally log in and out of each company and pull in the vouchers for each of the batches. You can also automatically request approvals, post those batches, and generate EFT and SafePay files, saving your team a lot of manual effort. And it can do all of this across all companies and across checkbooks from just one window. So this is really great if you are training new people on the accounts payable team. You can give them access to the action board and show them that they can do all of these processes all from this drop-down window here that will allow them to build batches, approve batches, pay batches, post batches, everything all from one window. And as you know, there's a lot of different windows and payables, and sometimes it gets a little confusing. So this is also great for streamlining your processes and your training. So once you've built those payment batches with the action board automation, your approval workflow can be kicked off. And this is a Mekorma proprietary approval workflow, which can be kicked off to notify the right people that they need to review and approve payments. This is all within their standard Payment Hub product. This happens based on rules your administrator configures with Mekorma's security model. And with the Mekorma security, you can set workflows to assign various users into threshold levels so that different users approve at different dollar amounts, no matter what payment method is being used. So electronic signatures can be associated with each threshold level. So once payments are approved, they will automatically print on your check payments. So this same window is used for both the approval process as well as the signatures. Approvers are notified by email when they need to approve, and then they can log into GP to see all of the pending transactions from these navigation lists that we have designed. Now, if you wanted to do approvals in GP, that's part of the standard Payment Hub tool, but you can add on this Power Approvals module, which allows you to approve those payments, and you don't have to be in GP to do it. Power Approvals mobile application can be added to the Payment Hub to let designated approvers review and approve from anywhere on any device. And it looks like this on your phone, so you can review the payments right from your phone across all companies. Power Approvals makes things easier to approve. You don't have to log into GP. You can do this while you're remote With Power Approvals, approvers can see all the transactions they need to take care of. For all companies in GP, they would have to log in and out of each company. Power Approver, the approvers, their Power Approvers, can see invoices attached to the payment vouchers for easy reviewing. This can be done with GP's Doc Attach, or Mekorma can also integrate to your document management system. So those invoices will display in the Power Approvals app, so you don't have to switch platforms to verify the information on those payments. Just like in GP, the approvers can approve or reject payments and leave a rejection reason as well. And then those rejections can be processed by the AP staff. So when you're approving in GP or with Power Approvals, the data is processed in GP and the batches are then ready to pay. Now we'll look at different options you have for paying your vendors. You may want to keep your things in-house with the Mekorma's integrated Maker technology, or you may choose to automatically send your payments to a third-party outsourced provider. And Payment Hub
Mary?
is foundation. Yeah.
Mary, before we get into the pay piece here, maybe we can, let's go ahead and launch another poll here. Just to make sure everybody's
good timing. That's what I was
still
thinking
with
too.
us.
Great.
So
sounds good.
This one's going to be a little different. So I will go ahead and launch this poll. So just curious whether or not the individuals here on with us today, if you're thinking of changing ERP systems within the next 2 years. So yes, no, or not sure. Again, you know, there's been some talk about GP out there and things like that. Obviously, you know, PTC is here to support GP. GP is well into the future, as well as Mekorma is as well. So, you know, we're going to be around and everything like that. Just kind of wanted to get an idea of if anybody out there was thinking about changing. So again, if you can go ahead and submit those responses there. Looks like we're getting some responses in. So again, we'll go ahead and give a couple seconds here, and then we'll give the old 10-second countdown to make sure everybody has a chance to respond. Again, please remember that if you do need CPE, you do need to make sure that you do respond to all the questions as we move through here. So we'll go ahead and give it the 10-second countdown. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we'll go ahead and close out that poll. And it looks like about 2/3 or so are not sure whether their organization is going to make that change. And then the other third says no. So we don't have anybody out there, you know, right now that's thinking about making that change, which kind of lines up with the grand majority of our clients, and you know, is great for Mekorma here in that you know, you guys are supporting GP well into the future. So with that, I will turn it back over to you then, Mary.
Thanks. That was very interesting that a lot of people are still not sure about what they're doing yet, but we will be here for you, like Michael said, for the next, you know, however many years it is. We plan to support GP till the very end. So so please, you know, stick with us. But we also, you know, are working on some remote payment services. We've already released that for BC. So for those of you that are thinking about moving to BC, rest assured that we have solutions for you as well. Great. That's awesome. And this is just a quick peek. If you decide to do your checks in-house, you still have the best check management solution for GP users. Joy and I can tell you that we have had people switch over from several different other solutions for check writing that are not being supported anymore. But Mekorma will be here and supporting your check writing needs as long as it takes. But your check stubs also, as you probably know, can be customized using any of our templates that we have already built to add your company's logo and other custom fields onto those blank checks, which are much more secure and can save you money as far as buying pre-printed check stub. So those are your options if you want to print those payments in-house and still stuff those envelopes and send those checks out. We're here for you. We'll definitely support you for that. But if you were sort of thinking about, how can I get out from under some of that manual labor of printing checks, adding them signatures, folding them, mailing out the checks every week, Mekorma has partnered with a payment provider, and we can help you connect to that payment provider right from GP. And we've built those integrations and that automation for you using the Action Board and our remote payment services product. So if you're thinking about, why would I want to do this? Here are some things you might want to consider. So if you have a lot of members working remotely, or if they're hybrid, it allows the payment process to continue without any delays or needing to drive into the office to print or sign or mail those checks. It also is something that you can consider if you'd like to reduce risk of fraud. So when your company is liable right now, if there's any kind of fraud during the check writing process, the outsource provider that we work with will take on that burden for any of the payments that you process. So whether it's for checks or ACH, wires, or virtual card payments, they will take on that responsibility of tracking that payment down and making sure that the right person is getting paid. This is a great opportunity to bring some revenue back into your organization as well. The outsource providers will work to transition a portion of your vendors to virtual card payments, and then you will receive rebates for those payments. So for most customers, those rebates are covered the entire cost of our service, and in some cases, the rebates even exceed those costs. So it kind of depends on how many people would be able to take advantage of the virtual card payments to get those rebates. And your process won't change much if you choose remote payments. You'll still be able to batch those payments with the Action Board and go through it as if everything is being paid by check. The approvers can still review and approve in GP or using our Power Approvals with the Mekorma security settings. But when it comes time to pay, instead of printing checks or generating EFTs in-house, one payment file will be transmitted to the outsource provider, and then they will pay the vendors in the method the vendor prefers. This could be a check, an ACH, wire, or virtual credit card. The provider will also be responsible for following up on any payment issues, so your team doesn't have to. And the bank reconciliation is made much easier because you're not handling multiple payment types in GP. The provider takes care of that complexity. Finally, post-payment, the Payment Hub will track all check and EFT payments made in-house or those sent to the payment service. So an archive of each posted payment will be securely stored for auditing purposes. So I wanted to point this out too, because I don't think a lot of people know that this audit feature is in Payment Hub. You'll be able to see, again, who approved the check and who processed it, each payment. So we have a couple of customers that have written some testimonials for us using the functionality we have discussed. So the first one is for Payment Hub Action Board, and Amber was saying that they, were having a lot of checks that they were printing in the springtime, so they were able to just hit process and then walk away. So they're taking it down from 6 to 8 hours to 2 to 2.5 hours for check processing. So that was amazing reduction, and then they were able to focus more on, the people tasks in printing checks to make sure that they're getting things paid correctly and having some time to do approvals and that. So those are the big things that that they were touting on their testimonial there. And if you guys have testimonials too, we'd be great to hear from you on how you're using the Action Board. And then we also have someone who was interested in our power approvals, and they have a very large AP department. So they wanted to improve their clunky process of doing approvals. So they're happy that they were able to do that outside of GP. The people that are doing approvals do not have to log into GP at all. They can see all those payments on their phone and speed that up through processing that. And that says they were able to get their check batches out in a day, and it had taken 5 to 6 days. So that's a lot of payments, and that's a lot of time savings there. And the final one is on remote payment services. So we've had this product out for a couple of years now. So people are starting to realize that automation and the productivity of using those products. So they just basically wanted to get out from under, folding and printing checks. And so they're able to do that. And they're also giving them more time back to actually improve the payment process, looking at agings, statements, and optimizing their terms. So those are some great testimonials. There's more on our website as well, so to have a chance to take a look at that. So I just wanted to mention too that if anyone is attending the summit, October 15th through 20th, please stop by booth 816, because we'll be out there to help you with that. So feel free to reach out with us. And I've also included some resources, because I know a lot of folks have some time to take a look at some more information about us. And we have videos on YouTube. So if you want to take a look at our Mekorma channel, that would be great. We also have on our website, of course, user guides, more videos, and testimonials at mekorma.com. But we're excited to see you out at Summit in Charlotte next month. So please reach out to me, and I would be glad to talk to you more about our products. And I really want to make sure that I've answered any questions, or if you have anything for us to talk about today, please let me know. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say about our products, and if you're interested in anything.
All right, very good. Thank you, Mary. We'll go ahead, and before we jump into questions, got just a couple more polling questions here so we can get through that, and then we will open it up and see if there's any questions out there. So the next polling question here is going to be get down here and launch that. So question number 4, are you interested in learning more about Mekorma's solutions? And we have yes, have someone reach out to me right away. Yes, but maybe not right now. Or no, it sounds great, but we're just not in the, we don't have a need for it right now. So if everybody could go ahead and submit your answers for that, and we will go ahead and record those. So we got some responses coming in. It's like about half and half right now. Yes, but not right now, and no, because we probably already have some of your solutions. But obviously, Mary has taken us through some of the new products that Mekorma has out there that maybe not everybody is aware of. So please let us know there. Give this another couple seconds here, and then we'll do our countdown. Again, just want to make sure everybody has the ability to respond as needed. So we'll go ahead and give the 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we'll go ahead and close that out. And again, yeah, looks like we have a couple of people out there say, yeah, reach out to me, and we will make sure that we get a hold of you and get you some more information, find out what you're looking for. And then we'll follow up with those others that said, yeah, maybe not right now. And we'll get that going there. So the next thing here, this one will be a very quick one here. We just need to I need to find out, do you need CPE credits for this? Yes or no? So if you can let us know if you do, then we can go ahead and get your certificates out to everyone. So again, do you need CPE? And again, that's for those of you who are not familiar with what CPE is. CPE is the educational credits that accountants need. We have to get so many every triannual. We have to get so many every year, and then every triannual we have to report about back into that. So very important for accountants to get their CPE credits in. So give everybody another second here or so. Make sure everybody gets the responses there. We've got almost half and half, which is good. So we'll go ahead and again close this out then in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we'll go ahead and close out that poll. And we've got one last poll here. I promise this is the last one. Just gonna get some feedback here. Please rate this session. Let us know, give us feedback here. 1 star would be, it's not really what I expected, or basically what everybody I'm sure is going to put is the 5 stars there, that this was a great session, one of the best ones they've ever heard. So if you can go ahead and let us know on that, and we will go ahead and as people are finishing up on their responses here, again, please, if you do have any questions, please put them in the chat. I see a couple questions out there, and I promise we will get to them as we go through here. Just want to again give everybody a chance to go ahead and respond on the poll here. So Mary, we must have done a halfway decent job. We're getting about 4.5 stars on this so far.
Oh,
so
that's great. Thanks so much.
Good. So great job there. And all right, we'll go ahead and give this the 10-second countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we'll go ahead and close out that poll. And let's take a look in the chat here and see what kind of questions we have out there. So if you do have some questions, I'm going to scroll back here and see what kind of questions we have out there. But if you do have any questions, please put those in the chat. All right. All right, Mary, let's see. What do we have?
One thing I think I forgot to mention, Michael, is that one of the advantages of using the remote payment services is that when we are working with an outside provider, they will handle all the onboarding of your vendors. So isn't that great? Like, you don't have to worry about calling up these vendors and saying, hey, we'd really like to switch you from checks to ACH or to vendor payments. They have that process down, and they'll actually check to make sure that your vendors accept credit cards. So, one-time credit cards or virtual cards are really, really secure. So if they do accept credit cards, they will accept vendor virtual credit cards. And so then you can just switch them out very easily. It's a very easy process. So that's something that takes all that burden off of you to manage that. So that's an awesome feature. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm just going to swap over here to our final slide there. So if anybody has any questions or anything like that, there's our contact information there. But let's get back. I did see a couple questions out here. So one of the questions here, can I see copies of the checks I printed with Payment Hub?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, you definitely can. And that's part of that audit process that I mentioned before. So if after you have done all your check runs, copies of the checks are actually stored inside of the database. So you can see them in the audit feature. So if you go into the audit under inquiry audit, you can see each one of the copies of the checks and the remittance that went along with it. So it's very great. That's a question that auditors ask all the time, right? Do you can you show me who printed these checks? Who's responsible for approving the checks? That's all through that audit process, part of Payment Hub.
All right, very good.
Mhm.
And I think maybe this next one came in from someone who has worked with your product for a very long time, and maybe he's not using some of the newer functionality there. But what's the advantage of the action board?
The action board is great because the action board allows you to have one central location for processing all of your payables. So it's a one-stop shop for building your batches, a one-stop shop for getting them approved. And then also the next step is moving them to actually printing them and then going ahead and posting those patches. Or if you're doing the remote payment services, there's an option, the drop down to move those out. So it's just one central location for people to see all the functionality that's part of the payables process, all in one place. And it also, I forgot to mention too, it can also generate your EFT files and your SafePay files, all from that same window. Because as you know, you got to go search all over. Who knows where they're even storing those windows at these days, but it's all in one place.
Yep, that's great. Yeah, it was. I'm not sure how many versions back now that came in, but we were very happy to see that, and I know a lot of our clients were happy to see that. Kind of all-in-one view, if you will, of the processes around it. Would also, a lot of our clients find is very helpful. Those clients who are using binary streams MEM, and have that functionality for multiple entities. The action board is very, very handy because they can see everything across all the entities and not have to worry about logging in and out of each one to go through and do those processes.
Oh, definitely. That's a great saving feature. Lots of time saved there.
Right.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I get another one in here. Oh, this one, we always get it seems like every session we do, we get the question on licensing. So what additional licensing do I need for mobile workflows or power approvals?
So if you guys are wanting to use the approval features with both the mobile workflows and power approvals, each of your approvers will also need a Power Apps license. So that's licensed through your Microsoft O365, Microsoft O365, Microsoft 365 licensing that you have for Office. So they can be added on if you don't already have it, but there are some packages with the M365 licensing that include Power Apps. So that's the licensing that only the approvers need. So they would be able to approve those invoices on the run. And I just want to mention too, one of the things we talked about for invoice capture, that was the first product that actually brings your invoices in. You do need to have some Microsoft licensing. We mentioned the Power Automate license and the AI Builder from Microsoft. So you need those two licenses for invoice capture as well.
Okay. And would those Power approvers need GP licensing as well then?
They do not, and that's what's going to save you some money over the actual approving process within GP. They do need to have a GP user set up, but it does not use a license at all. It's just using some of the security with GP. So they'll be set up as users, but they won't need a GP license because they're never actually entering GP. They're not going into GP. So
right. So as long as they're in the concurrent licensing model, we would be good there. So
yep.
So. All right.
That's great. Those are all good questions.
The other questions coming in from anybody here? Let me see if there's anything else here. I know we're coming up against our time here, so I want to be cognizant of everyone's time. And again, thank you all for joining us. We do have a few moments left here. So again, if you do have any questions, please put those in the chat so that we can get those answered. Or if you're one of those people who just don't feel comfortable putting information, in chat and things like that, again, feel free to reach out to us. I have my contact information up there on the screen, so you can always reach out to us at sales@ptcsolutions.com. If you do have any questions, we can certainly pass those along. Probably many of them we'll be able to answer ourselves, and for those more complex questions, we'll reach out to Mary and her team and get any of those questions answered for you. So, again,
sure. Anytime.
We'll just make one last call for questions out there. Anybody got anything? All right, Mary, any last parting wisdom for us?
Sure. I mean, if you guys are interested at all, and if you're going to be attending Summit, please stop by and chat with us. We'd love to show you the product. We'll have it on our laptops, and we can show you, what it actually, how it works, and check out our videos too. We have, I have those slides, Mike. I don't know if you want to share them with the team, with anybody here. Be glad to share the slides with some links to our things, but just go ahead and check out Mekorma.com, and there's some great videos and user guides and all that if you want to see another demo, or if we can arrange a personal demo for you as well. We'd love to. We'll work with Mike on that.
All right, that's great. Yep. So if anybody out there is interested in getting those slides, go ahead and put your, just make a note in the chat there, and I will make sure to get those the slides over to you so that you have all of that information and can maybe share it across some others within your organization as well. So with that, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. A big thank you out there to Mary for putting this together today and joining us and giving us this great presentation, showing us, where Mekorma has gone and where you guys are going in the future with your product. It's great to see that that you're still around. Again, it's probably been, I don't even want to mention how many years.
I've got 25 years I've been using Mekorma, so definitely we're around for you guys. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity too. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, and again, thank you everyone who joined us today, or if you are watching this recorded as well. Again, thank you for taking the time to do so. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Again, thanks everybody. Have a great day.
Take care.